stay a while and listen.
Oh, I thought you had...
What? What's up?
I thought you had to hit that one.
Which one?
The green record button, or did you change it?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm just recording on here, and then I just throw it down later.
Got you.
So, no big deal. GHN on VGF. We're getting it, man. Eventually, we're gonna get this down.
One day at a time, man.
Yeah,
One day at
this
a time.
this is rough. I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, I do too. It is the newest addition to the synth line of clothing. You should definitely check out their Instagram because their whole history of designs are all excellent. And I'm honestly really proud of the guy who's the mastermind behind it, because he's got some really cool designs up there, and I'm excited to see what he does in the future.
Oh, Cam's a creative dude.
Oh, he's so creative.
He's so creative. What's the website?
It's synthandco.com.
That's
believe.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I love that shirt. That's trippy as shit.
It is. It at first when I looked at it, I was like, hold on, all the aliens are different, but it's like they're like walking through portals and changing as they go.
Oh, that's super trippy.
Yeah.
They are all different. Okay, I thought it was the same one. This was like a mirror thing.
So this one's dummy thick, this one's average, this one needs a cheeseburger. Like me.
Fair enough. Hey, speaking of aliens, we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week. No Man's Sky.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about this with you because you were one of the ones that actually kind of originally, you bought it when it first came out. Like you were in on the hype, right?
I didn't actually buy it because I didn't have a PlayStation, and it came out strictly for PlayStation. I was super excited about it because it looked like an excellent game, and when it came out, it was majorly disappointing. But my goodness, have they turned it around, man. It is everything I'd want out of a space game right now. I am a space ranger, and I'm having so much fun. Yeah,
man, I got to give Sean Murray credit. I didn't keep up with the hype when it was first coming out, because when people were talking about it, I'm like, just like most other people, I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. They can't get all of what they want into this game, no matter how long they've been working on it. And, that turned out to be true. But, credit to Sean Murray, man, he took it on the chin, and then he turned around and he put out a fire game right now. Like, this game is so chill and just so easy to play.
Yeah. You can literally do whatever you want. I mean, I was comparing it to Space Minecraft the other day, because it's essentially, it has that element to it, but it has the freedom to play at your own pace. Yeah. It's not forcing you to do anything. If you play on normal mode and you're not seeking a challenge, you can just explore till your heart's content. And the way they've built the quest system, the main storyline, literally guides you through all the basic things of the game, because there is a lot to know. Right. There's a lot of things you got to remember, because there's a lot of complicated, mechanics to it, but it's not complicated to the point where it's not fun. It's just complicated enough, where it keeps you coming back.
Right. What difficulty do you play it on?
I've just been playing normal for the first playthrough. After I kind of get to the point where I'm like, okay, I've done, most everything. I want to go in and actually have a genuine challenge where, the Sentinels will absolutely mess you up, and the wild fauna. Is that right? Fauna?
Yeah, fauna and flora, yeah.
The wild fauna of each planet you visit just might, end your whole game right there. I don't know if I'll ever take permadeath on as a challenge, but...
Which one was permadeath? Oh, you die. You
die, you're done.
Wow,
you start over. Like, no saving, no nothing. You just start over. And that's scary.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, I remember when it first came out, they were talking like multiplayer. Mm-hmm. Now there technically is really an inconceivable amount of planets and different life on that planet.
Oh, there is.
See, now what I would like though is, because I don't know are humans considered fauna?
Technically,
I guess so. Yeah. Okay, so the one thing that I would wish was different about the game is, there's no intelligent life, like an intelligent life, like us intelligent life,
right?
That's actually civilized a planet. I would love to see. And I'm asking so much. I understand
landing on a planet that's populated and has cities and infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. Now, if they allowed us as players to actually colonize a planet, you can build a base on the planet and that's cool, but that kind of strays away from the purpose of the protagonist in that game. Yeah. You, the player, you are a traveler. You're not a settler. You're not a conqueror. You're just someone who travels and takes pictures, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
And digs deep holes.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, it really is just like Minecraft in space, though.
Yeah. It
I mean, it
is.
really is. It's like Minecraft in space. Like, it's something. It's fun to play. Like if you just had like a long day, you don't want something you're gonna get pissed off at.
It's not fast-paced.
No, you just want to chill. You can take your time. You can explore as many planets as you want without even doing like, one of the main quests or anything like that.
Like after you complete the first little tutorial bit, you can just do whatever you want. Like you don't even have to worry about getting all the cool technology and upgrades and all that stuff. You can just chill. Yeah. I mean, part of the fun is making your character and all of your stuff better, more efficient, faster to push you further and further and further. Because once I figured out that you could sell your ship and get another ship, I was like, oh God, now I'm gonna be doing this.
That's literally what I did. That's my first thing when I first start off. I just try and amp up as much as my gear as possible.
Yeah.
So then I can like legitimately go and explore.
Yeah.
And then usually by the time I do that, I start getting bored.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like run myself into the ground. But I mean, it is one of those games. Like I feel like this is it almost. I mean, it's totally different, but it has like a roller coaster tycoon feel in which you're gonna play for 2 weeks straight, and then you're not going to touch it for a year.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to the end of that yet. I've played this is my second week of playing, and I think I've put
here it comes
like 18 hours or so in it.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
And I've gotten to the point now where I'm doing some like research on the finer points and looking into what players consider the end game of No Man's Sky, and it involves like farming, and that's about it.
Farming.
Yeah, like one of the end games is to beat the game to get to the center of the universe on permadeath mode. That's like the hard end game challenge. But then there's the people that just want to make an insane amount of money. And there's like a mining system you can set up that will like infinitely mine things, and you just set it on a planet that you have to find like the perfect planet with the perfect atmosphere, the perfect like distance between mineral deposits, so you can build your perfect little base that's going to extract the elements out of the ground. And I mean, if you manage to work your rear end off and make all that happen, research all the technology required, get big enough ships to get all the things you need to carry, I mean, yeah, you're going to be making, like one of the guys I was watching a video of, he was making like 200 million every 8 hours or so.
How?
And he could
that's just like ridiculous.
He could just let it run in the background and just infinitely make money. I mean, there's like there's little loopholes for everything in that game, and that's pretty cool. But I like I've gotten to the point where I don't even sell anything. I've got like my frigate, my big ship that I have like storage bins and all these different containers and stuff, and everything I get off planet, I just bring it back up there and I organize it. And I'm like so OCD in the game because everything has to be in its perfect box and have like a system to it, so I know where everything is.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to like upgrade everything and make my stuff better so I can move forward with the story. And I'm like, at this point, I'm still having a great time because I love that OCD element of the game, that like preparation phase.
You have to, because you really do. That's part of it. You have, because the way you have to actually, like, God, so original, craft your stuff. Like you have to be OCD about it, because if you're going to a galaxy and you run out of fuel or something like that, and say that this solar system that you're in all of a sudden doesn't have any life, or there's no or life wouldn't even matter if there's nothing to mine. Then you're screwed. You're just stuck. So you literally do have to plan ahead.
If you wind up in a system that only has one planet, and that one planet doesn't have that one element you need to create some kind of fuel to keep moving,
you're screwed. That's even on easy mode.
Yeah. But the good thing from what I've noticed is if you just pay attention to which system you go to, once you get that discovery scanner thing that you can add to your ship, you can read and see how many planets are in each system, what the level of prosperity is of that system. So you can decide, I should jump to this system because it's got, really good prices on everything, and it's got 6 planets orbiting the sun. So if there's 6 planets, there's probably going to be a variety of elements that you might need.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I was going to ask here, or rather how I was going to phrase this. Go back to 2016 when this game came out. Let's just pretend you had a PlayStation, and let's just pretend that you ended up buying No Man's Sky, and let's just pretend that just like literally everybody else who bought No Man's Sky. You were insanely disappointed and furious. Would you be able to go back to that eventually, like 3 years later? I mean, because there are a lot of people that I talk to, like literally on the account, and we'll talk about No Man's Sky, and they'll say, listen, I gave it a chance. I gave it my $60. I'm not going back. They had the opportunity.
Yeah.
And, while my thought is, because I wasn't, in that original, back in 2016, in that hype, I'm like, well, this is a completely different game than what you got, so maybe you should try it. So where do you stand?
For me, I mean, there's been many games in the past that have been truly terrible when they came out, and I was insanely disappointed. But I'm a sucker for redemption stories because I want to see that in humanity. So I try to see it in the things that humanity creates. And I mean, Hello Games absolutely killed it. They made an excellent game. Another example is PUBG when it first came out on the Xbox was horrifying.
Was it really?
To say the least. And
I don't remember that.
I still played it. I paid the I think it was $20 or $30 that it cost at that time because it was still in the alpha stage of the game.
When was this? What year was that?
2017, I believe.
Yeah, okay, because that's been around a lot longer than what I think people remember.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been out on PC since like 2014 or 15. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually didn't know that at all.
Yeah,
so.
it was out on PC far longer than it was out on console because DayZ came out, and then the guy that created PUBG saw the way that game was and the style that game was and was like, okay, I could do something cool with this. So he made PUBG, which is really cool. It was a fun game, and it still is a fun game. But then the whole battle royale phase started happening, and we got Fortnite, and we got Apex, and then we've got 150 of them now. And the ones that are on mainstream consoles are pretty good. I mean, the battle royale style just gets old after a while.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit. However, Call of Duty kind of really brought it back.
I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know we talked about that our first episode, but man, Warzone is still fun.
It is.
It holds up.
It does. It holds up, and I didn't think it would. I never thought we'd really see the day where we'd say, hey, this is holding up.
Yeah, I mean, Blackout.
But it's so weird that it's holding up, actually. Yeah. Like, I would not have predicted this at all.
Yeah, Blackout was pretty fun at first, and then that's actually one of the things that I didn't try to let redeem itself, because I played it for the first season. The second season came out. They updated the game. They made the armor plates where you literally, if you had a 60-round mag on your weapon, you would have to put about 45 of them into somebody to actually knock them.
Oh, God.
It just completely busted the armor system in the game, and it just wasn't fun, and it made me angry, so I just was like, I'm done. I deleted it. I'm not playing it again, and I haven't.
Yeah.
But then Warzone came out, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm in,
They got to do something about these update sizes, though.
Yeah, I mean, one thing a lot of people don't know is they're big, but after they're downloaded, they compress. So...
Didn't know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so how far down do they actually compress?
The one that was this past week was 36 gigabytes and compressed down to 4. So on the download, they seem to be a lot more, but once they're actually on your hard drive, they're not nearly as bad. I mean, the game itself is massive. It's 139 gigabytes, I believe, for everything. Gosh. And Destiny's 110, Destiny 2. And my hard drive is 500 gigabytes, and I'm just like, who do I keep? Who do I delete? Who do I keep?
Oh, yeah. It's just an endless game of Russian roulette with your games.
It really is. It really is. Who's going to go this time?
Yeah. That I think one of the things that if I had one disappointment about the next-gen consoles coming out, it would probably be storage space.
1 terabyte?
Yeah. Isn't Xbox getting 1 terabyte?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah. I would expected it to be even more than that. I mean...
I would have wanted like 2.5. I don't know. I mean, I expected hard drives to be a lot bigger for a lot cheaper now,
Yeah, and that was kind of my thought process behind this is like we understand that the consoles themselves are probably going to be a little more expensive than what they have been in the past.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm certainly not one to know how any of this works. I don't know. I just felt like maybe they would have a little bit more storage, especially knowing how much these updates just the updates alone, not even the game, how much space they actually take up.
Well, maybe the way the new consoles work, because I mean, like I was just saying, Call of Duty is able to compress their updates down after you download them,
be, yeah.
maybe they figured out a way to compress a lot more data into a lot smaller space, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope so. If they're doing that with updates. See, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's how out of touch I am. I'm sitting there downloading these, 100 gigabyte updates, just like, fuck, just cussing up a storm.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Hey, well, go ahead. What were you
I was just going to say, I've been meaning to buy a HDD or HDR, like a side terabyte that I can just plug into my Xbox. And I was like, I'm just going to wait because I don't know if this is going to be compatible with the new console. And the new console is going to come with plenty of space anyway. So is there like a point? And that's a question I've been asking a lot of people I know right now. I'm like, is it worth it?
Yeah. Are you going in on a new console at launch?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I bought the Xbox One X day one, 12:01 midnight on 2014, and I was giddy about it. I was so happy.
Oh, nice.
And it's served me so very well for the past 6 years. And
so you going back Xbox again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation 5 looks cool, but all my friends play Xbox. So.
Yeah, well, that's what you're used to. Like I say, I'm the same way. I've played on Xbox. I don't know. If I'm getting a next-gen console, though, I'm probably going PlayStation.
I understand.
It's hard not to at this point, man, seeing what they did. But, Phil Spencer actually said, and I think maybe he saw this on, like, Fandom or something. He said that after watching the big event that they did for PlayStation 5 that Sony did, he's like, I'm actually feeling really good about what Microsoft has coming up. I mean, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, Sony, that was what Sony did was excellent. Yeah. They had a great event. Yeah. So that's going to be hard to, I think it'd be hard to top, but, I like the confidence. I like thinking, I know it's not a competition between them at this point. They're all just crushing it.
Oh, yeah.
So if anything, it's like a friendly competition.
Yeah,
it's not even that competitive, to be honest.
Not at this point. I feel like it was more so years ago, but it's like the world's been separated out into, fandoms, and that's fine. Like Xbox, I feel like Xbox or Microsoft in general had a little bit of a negative connotation to it, 6-7 years ago after all of the, Red Ring of Death fiascos, and not to mention everything Microsoft gets its hands in. But I feel like the Xbox Live Studios, they have kind of, I want to say that they've become a more positive force. I feel like they put on a more positive front. It's not as much about competition as it is just creating good products and products that bring fun to people. And I think they've been doing that pretty damn well.
Yeah. Well, and not to mention they're going to get this cross-play stuff down.
I
mean, everybody knows that's coming. Like everyone's going to be in on the mix just because you're going to have to at that point. They're just going to have to.
Yeah, we'll see if PlayStation buys Microsoft eventually, or if Microsoft buys PlayStation.
Oh gosh, can you imagine that? Oh gosh, man.
I mean, I'm sure Bill Gates has the money.
Yeah. Well, that would be it. I don't think they do that.
I don't think so either. I think the world structure itself would have to change before that happened.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, and this is a story that we both kind of read. Let me just start it off with this. When was the last time that you bought a game that, like a AAA game for a console, like big title, that wasn't $60?
Ooh. I mean, I can't remember one.
Yeah. I remember the first $60 game that I bought was Pokemon Stadium for Nintendo 64. That's how long games have been $60.
Yeah.
From about that era, where there hasn't been a price increase or anything. In the story that we read, move over here a little bit, it was on TechSpot, and it basically said the current production model for AAA video games is unstable, and this is from Sean Layden. He's a former Sony chairman, and he's saying that the current model is unsustainable. And he actually made some really good points in this article that I had never considered before, but I think it's worth talking about.
Absolutely.
Especially because, like he mentioned in the article, over the past 2 or 3 years especially, we've seen so much start coming out over, these video game developers and stuff overworking their employees.
Yeah.
I mean, working them to the bone to get this stuff out.
No work-life balance for months in order to meet deadlines.
Yeah, and you just can't have that.
No.
And his point was video games are becoming more and more expensive to make. The price of video games has stayed the same. So this model just isn't going to work. He's like, he doesn't say the only model, but the model that he's talking about is the model where they go back to these short 15 to 25 hour games and get one out every 3 years instead of every 6 years.
Yeah.
And, in the price of video games is going to have to go up eventually too, which when we look back on it, I'm surprised it hasn't already.
It's one of the only markets that inflation hasn't affected as far as, consumer price, which is insane.
Right.
Do you remember, I can't call to mind, but do you remember what the GameCube cost when it first came out?
The GameCube, when it first came out, wasn't it?
Like $250?
$250 is the first number that came into my mind.
Yeah. Because I bought mine a few years after it came out, and it was like $100. And that came with, the games weren't the best, but
it was GameCube.
It was cool for the time, you know?
GameCube, that was the first time that I ever played Resident Evil 4. GameCube was, I liked it. They had, what was a good Zelda game that they had too?
Ocarina of Time.
Well, they had that,
Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess is the one I'm thinking of.
Because that came out at the end of that console cycle, so it came out for the GameCube and for the Wii.
Oh, you're right, it did.
Yeah.
That was right when the Wii came out. My God.
Because I remember that Christmas, I was like, I want a Wii. And
did you get it?
No. No, didn't get it. I never got a Wii. I ended up buying one from a friend like 7 years later.
Yeah, I think that's what I did. I think I bought my parents or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man, they had some fun games. I enjoyed the Wii. But back to the point of what this guy was saying, though. How long is too long of a video game for you?
Man, Skyrim was one of the last really, really long games. It really, that's kind of a hard question because there's a lot of different styles of game.
Yeah.
You mean like a single player, like RPG, like story based game?
Yeah, I think those are more likely the ones that would be long. Well, yeah, that would have to be it. Unless we're considering hours put into a game. But yeah,
right.
Let's talk about the overall
like
story. Right.
Got you. Yeah, well, 15, the Call of Duty story, I don't know if you played through that, but it was decently long. It was like 20-ish hours, but it was fun. It kind of shocked me a few times, which video games don't do anymore. Yeah. I'm so desensitized to everything thanks to the internet. And but it was a really good story wrapped up in 20 hours. But the cool thing about it is they've been continually adding to the story via the co-op section. Mm-hmm. And they keep adding more and more story to the game for free, that's cool. I really think the way Activision has done this game is excellent because there's microtransactions, but you don't have to pay for any of the season updates. If you want to buy the battle pass, that's up to you. But the guns that they add to the game, you get from the battle pass, but you can get that for free. You don't even have to buy it. And I think the model that they're using right now is excellent because they've got a huge AAA game that costs $60 and probably took them 5 years to make. And it's everything I'd really ever wanted out of a Call of Duty, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're arguing games like Witcher 3 and stuff like that.
Those are ridiculously long.
Like Witcher 3 is the only game that I can say, well, what's ironic? I finally started playing through it like in January. I don't get too much time to play video games, so I haven't even finished up the Blood and Wine DLC yet. But I don't even know how many hours I've put into this thing, but it's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
It is a ridiculous amount of hours that has to go into this game to beat it. And I'm not complaining because I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm even going to enjoy it more in my second playthrough. But I think there's a good point to be made here. We have to start taking into consideration everything that's going on within the industry. And we have to start taking into consideration that a lot of these devs are not only underpaid, but they're completely overworked. Yep. It's like you said, they have no family life work balance whatsoever. Is that really worth it? So, gamers can get on Twitter and send them death threats?
No,
not at all.
It's not. They pour their heart and souls into things and work themselves, like you said, literally to the bone. And then all they get is criticism. Probably we tend to focus on the criticism, I've noticed, more than the uplifting things, because people saying uplifting things for some reason feel less genuine than people that are criticizing you, you know?
Yeah.
And we've got like a negative mindset as a culture in general, and we got to change that, man. We gotta learn to be positive and to bring kindness to others and not bring people down so much.
Preach it. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially, I'm sure you've seen all the stuff coming out this week about all the sexual harassment claims from a lot of actual like gaming developers, but also the live streaming platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's bad. It is bad.
Destiny's community had many people. There was like a whole group of people that were connected. There's one of the biggest clans in the game is called BSK, and there's all sorts of allegations on them right now. And it's just like, and it's destroying communities, like internet communities. But if it's true, they should be disbanded.
Yeah. If that is what's happening underneath these communities, if that is what's driving the community, by all means, be gone.
Tear it down.
Yeah.
We won't miss you.
No, God, what a disaster.
Yeah.
Seriously, and it's so toxic. The gaming in general, the community, as we sit here and do a show for gamers, it's just incredibly toxic. Well, it is like disgustingly how toxic it can get sometimes, and just how, you know, I don't know if it's because you can hide behind some username or gamer tag like you can on the internet
a lot of times,
or if maybe you just really are that much of a piece of shit person.
And being anonymous, I can't say that word. Being anonymous makes people brazen, and I've noticed that people like me and you that do have positive takes on things, we're quiet. You know, the positive people are quiet. The positive people aren't raising their voice because they don't want to be a nuisance. But the people that don't care, that's the ones you hear. That's the people that are screaming about everything and making, you know, death threats and just being toxic in general. And that skews the whole view of the gaming industry in general because we don't talk.
Yeah, listen, I can tell you right now how bad this stuff is actually going on. And this is very much a case for a lot of people on Twitter following the account. They have no idea because they don't see it. It's not coming across their timeline. They're like, I don't think this is as bad as what, you know, but take a step back and go outside of your Twitter timeline for a second and go ask anybody that's working in the gaming community right now about what kind of messages they get on Twitter and stuff like that. And I guarantee it, at least 90% of them have gotten some pretty terrible things. So I post memes and I get terrible things.
Yeah, it's content creators across the board, man. Whatever you do in any kind of entertainment fashion, there are going to be people that are going to be just awful.
Yeah. Ugh. It's the worst, man. Oh, it's not the worst. There's a million other things that are worse. I don't know why I just said that, but I can think of about 10 things off the top of my head that are worse in the gaming community. But you know,
and we're just so good at taking things for granted.
We are,
and we've got to learn to count our blessings, man, because there's a lot of positive things in this world and a lot of positive things around us. It's just what you choose to focus on.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, what positive games are you going to be playing?
Well,
get off this horrible topic.
Other than No Man's Sky, I'm actually really excited about Star Wars Squadrons.
Are you?
Yes, I am. I mean, it's another Star Wars game, but you know, I'm a sucker for space. So and it's a pretty, you know, decent looking game for $40. So I'm gonna check it out, see what I think, make my decision of it. I've got a buddy, he and I have been Star Wars fanboys ever since we met each other like 16 years ago or whatever. And we've always bought Star Wars games as they came out. Been playing KOTOR again recently, Knights of the Old Republic.
You said you have that on your phone.
I do.
I didn't even know that was out for mobile until you told me about it.
They haven't put the second one up yet, but I hope they do soon. Those games, the other day, he actually, after watching that episode and you asked me that question of what game would I remaster if I could remaster, he was like, bro, why didn't you say Knights of the Old Republic? And I was like, oh, damn it.
That's a good answer. I'm trying to remember if they actually are or maybe I saw where
there's
they're doing
a rumor.
There's a rumor, but maybe what I'm thinking of was there's in talks of a Disney Plus show.
There's The Mandalorian. No,
like a new Disney Plus show, like a KOTOR show.
I mean, that would be cool. They would have to shy away from the the PG elements that they try to put in mainstream Star Wars stuff, because the like comic book versions of the stories that they're going to be going off of for the Mandalorian Wars and all the stuff that happened 1,000 years before Anakin, and became Darth Vader. And it's a lot darker.
It is.
It's so much darker.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
There's one of the things that I've always remembered about the Mandalorians is Jedis existed back then. And the way, like, obviously, laser fire Jedis are just going to block it or whatever.
Right.
But the Mandalorians got wise to that, and they decided to use projectile-based weapons against them. And they would just shred through Jedis because they would have actual, like, shotguns and stuff like that. And Jedis would be like, I can't block this, So there's
I am all in. We need a game on this.
There's like some gnarly stuff that happens back in the thousands of years before. It's pretty cool.
Oh, gosh.
That's why I love the Knights of the Old Republic games, because they're pretty gritty too. Like, you can choose to be good or you can choose to be evil, and you can like be a Sith in the game. Like, actually make choices with characters and stuff, and like it's pretty cool.
I want one of these games from 1,000 years ago with the Jedi and the Mandalorians.
That'd be hard.
I need that. That sounds so fucking badass.
Yeah, like a war kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible.
Yeah, because it was back when there was like thousands upon thousands of Jedi, and there was like just a war between Jedi and the mercenaries. And I'm sure if any like true Star Wars historian listens to this, they would rip me a new one because I'm butchering.
They're gonna rip you a new one anyway, man. That's what they do. That's just what they do.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Oh gosh, yeah, that sounds like a badass game idea. Okay, this is something else that I was thinking of. So I know, like, we're both into space. Like, I'm all about the space-based games.
Yeah,
love it, love everything about it. And I have so many questions for the developers of No Man's Sky and stuff like that. Like, because the way they handle gravity.
Yeah.
In that game is unbelievable. Okay. Anyway.
Kerbal Space Program is another one that's excellent in every single way.
Which one's this?
You've never heard of Kerbal Space Program?
No.
Bro, oh my goodness. Okay.
What am I missing here?
So it was originally for PC. They ported it to Xbox a while back, but it is a fake scale model replica of our solar system. So there's Mars, the moon, every planet. But it follows our actual laws of physics, like the true laws of physics that we understand. And the point of the game is you have to build your own like spaceship or space station or whatever, and you have to go through the trial and error of actually like doing the math and getting your craft flight worthy and then space worthy, and then have enough fuel to thrust ratio. Like it's real actual math and science that has to go into actually launching something from our planet into orbit. But the planet that they use is 1/10 the size of ours. That's like your Earth. So it's a little bit easier. Just a little bit easier. I put probably 5 months into that game. And after playing it for 5 months, I was finally able to land on the moon and get back to Earth. That's how long it took me just to do that. It took me probably a month just to get into space. Like, it's so realistic, it's painful.
Wait, okay. Well, first of all, this sounds awesome. You lost me at you have to do math.
Yeah, like
I'm out at that point.
The game does the math for you, but if you want to learn the finer points of everything in the game, you have to like actually like watch a video about how orbital velocity works. You have to watch a video about how to get two spacecrafts into the same orbit and connect them. It's like...
Do they have the videos like actually in the game that you watch, or do you have to go like do the research yourself?
There are some instructions in the game. Like, it's pretty good about holding your hand, but if you want to get like further and further and further into the game, you need someone who has a really good understanding of all of these mechanics to like guide you through doing it. It's really cool. This
is wild. What's this called again? And this is PC, I'm assuming.
It's PC and Xbox.
PC and Xbox.
They ported it to Xbox a while back. But I've tried to build a space station. I never could get orbital docking down. I couldn't figure it out. Like, I would put two separate payloads into the same orbit, and like getting something in the exact same orbit is absolutely ridiculous in the first place. but getting to the moon and getting back from the moon and not killing all your astronauts is like the first, like,
yeah, hey,
good job.
Congratulations. They all lived.
Yeah, but now if you want to, like, you can go to Mars, you can go to Jupiter, you can go to, like, all of the other planets that are so very, very far away.
What about the moons?
You can go to all of their moons, too. Like, it's a replica of our galaxy, or not our galaxy, but our solar system. And
this is unbelievable. Is it like a flight simulator-esque?
Essentially, I mean, it's kind of goofy because you have these like humanoid-esque characters that are your astronauts.
The physics is real, you know.
The physics are accurate. That's like all of the science behind it is accurate. Even if you want to just build an airplane, you have to build the airplane with perfect aerodynamics. You can't just slap wings on a body, put an engine on it, and let it fly. You have to build it correctly, or it's not going to fly.
This is mind-blowing to me. How have I never heard about this as much as stuff with space I like? Okay. And this is interesting because you said that it took you just like how much time before you actually like got into orbit and stuff?
Yeah, it took me like a month just to get into orbit, just to get a rocket that wouldn't turn sideways and fall back to Earth.
Okay. Here's a fun factoid. You probably already know this if you're big into space. Mm-hmm. The average age of all of the scientists who put Apollo on the moon was under 30.
Really?
Really?
Huh. Well, that doesn't make sense. How are all the German scientists there? They got to be older than that.
This was an average age. So this would have been 20 years after
World War II.
Was it Project Paperclip?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's average age. So there could have been the older guys that were just like helping. Right.
It just...
Did you know that the guy that landed on the moon, Neil Armstrong, he actually had to do the mathematical equation to get the lander on the moon free-handed as it was happening? Like he had to make adjustments as they were going up there. You got to fact check me on this completely, but he actually had to land the spacecraft by doing the math of his velocity, his position, everything, and he did it freehand while barreling towards the planet. Like the amount of pressure you would have to be under.
it's life and death pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's literally life and death pressure.
Yeah. You have to be 100% okay with dying if you want to go to space.
I want to go to space.
I want to go to space too.
I want to go to space. I would 100% do that. Do you think we're going to be able to in our lifetime?
I think it's possible. I think with the advancements that even, SpaceX has done, it's very possible that it could happen. I think the next few years are going to determine how the next 50 years play out, So we'll see if we can keep things peaceful as a world. If we can keep things peaceful and keep things prosperous, there's no telling what we can do.
I like this motivation.
Yeah.
I like it between you and all the scientists who are under the age of 30 who put the Apollo on the moon. Meanwhile, my fat ass is back here. I can't even get to the center of the galaxy in no man's sky.
I have no idea how close I am. I just got to the robot guy that kind of guides you. And
there's a bunch of...
his name is Apollo. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't even think I got to Apollo yet. So I'm so far away.
Yeah, I've been following the main story because there's a lot of technology is not easily accessible until you follow the main story.
Right.
Like you can get it, but you just have to know how to get it.
Yeah.
So if you do it through the main story, it just kind of like, here, take this. You'll need this on your journey.
Yeah, man, that's a good game. Okay, so I was gonna ask this earlier. So your thing is space. Do you have a game or a type of game or a concept or an idea of something that you would like to see done better in games? To give you an example, mine would be time travel.
Yeah.
I really want an accurate game that's an accurate portrayal of time travel, which I know that sounds stupid, but we actually can we can't, but we know it's possible to time travel.
I want No Man's Sky and Destiny to have a baby.
Oh, that sounds kinky.
Yeah, I literally, Destiny already has the ships. It has the planets. It has the awesome, movement, combat, all of that stuff. It's lacking the No Man's Sky element. The crafting, the doing, adjustments to your ships and stuff like that, actually being like a hands-on character, doing all the things that you would need to do in that world to survive. But like when Destiny, your ship is just like, it's like a cosmetic thing. It doesn't do anything. It's you have no reason to have it. You could have a portal from one planet to another planet and it would be the same, in my opinion, as, leaving the planet in a ship and flying to another planet. Like, you don't actually do anything. It just does it for you. It's just a loading screen. It's just a pretty loading screen.
Essentially, that's what it is. Yeah. Have you ever played, what is it, Star Citizen?
I haven't. That's a big one. That's a PC, like, 15 years of your life are gone.
Yeah. I got a buddy, Andrew Perrin, who does the Digital Drop podcast with me. He actually does it, and he streams every day, and it looks absolutely insane, incredible. It seems like it's No Man's Sky, like 5.0.
Yeah, it's like No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous had a baby.
Literally.
Yeah.
Man, you're all about hooking up these video games. Yeah. You're like the Cupid of video games over here. Jesus. Oh my God. All right, man. We're gonna do the same time next week.
Yeah, always.
Let's
run it.
All right, awesome. We will be back same time next week. By the way, if you didn't get to watch all this, I know Twitter's kind of stupid. And you can't really replay videos, so all you have to do is just go to YouTube, find us on there, subscribe. Also on all the audio platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that crap. We're on there. Find us if you didn't get to watch the whole thing. If you didn't like it, that's cool too. So either way, we will be back next week. Take care.
Hasta luego.